Reviewers, this episode of the JB and Benny Blue Review podcast is brought to you by our fine sponsors, starting with Brave New Urban. Brave New Urban is the design studio with the entrepreneur in mind. Visit bravenewurban.com to learn about their web design and logo design services, or just simply look at the great work that they lace us with on our new logo and branding. That's right. Go to bravenewurban.com and use promo code The Review and get 30% off your first project. Go to bravenewurban.com and use promo code The Review to get 30% off your first project. And of course, we are brought to you by Pacific Home Buyers. Have you inherited a home or property? Are you going through pre-foreclosure? Pacific Home Buyers helps homeowners in all 50 states get cash. That's right, cash for their homes. And their deals close within 7 to 14 business days. Visit PACHomebuyers.com. That's PACHomebuyers.com. Or call 323-963-3417. That's 323-963-3417 for more information on how they can help you get cash for your home today. Woo! Let's go.
Let me tell you how good Giannis is. It's hard to imagine. Ryan Hollins, imagine a guy your size, but really good at basketball. Like, think about that for a second.
Recording.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the review.
It's the review.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? Yeah.
What you gonna do on the review? Runs wild on you, brother.
Back like we left something.
Mm-hmm.
Because we
What's
did.
the reviewers?
We left you hanging, and we didn't mean to.
Oh, yeah. We left you hanging and yearning for some more quality content, which you're going to get on this goddamn episode. Yeah. From sea to shining sea.
Yeah.
Oh, reviewers, how we doing? How we feeling? Follow us at JB and Benny Blue. Please. Shout out to our fine sponsors, Brave New Urban and Pacific Home Buyers. JBandBennyBlueReview.com. We're available on all streaming platforms, all that good shit. And yeah, man. Bizzleman, how we feeling? You sipping a little dilly, enjoying your day. You had camp. Camp went well. From what I understand, our pattern production meeting.
Shout out to the Gilbert High School Tigers, who had a phenomenal camp at NAU. That's Northern Arizona University in the beautiful Flagstaff, Arizona. Approximately 7,000 miles above sea level.
I was just about to say that. A little elevated practice.
Pretty awesome out there. Nice. We saw some beautiful weather. Saw some beautiful scenery. It is phenomenal. Had a great camp. Really, the kids learn to compete. We're kind of changing the culture at Gilbert. Me and some of the newer coaches that are there, just older guys that have been there, we're agreeing to do things a little bit different as far as, pushing the kids to another level. And coaching way more aggressive, you know what I'm saying?
Tough love, if you will.
Tough love. Bruce Arians' motto said, I coach them hard and love them harder. And that's what I do. And that's what we're all trying to do. So, but we're getting good responses from the kids. That's one thing our kids will do, their work. They got a good senior class. And proud of those kids. And man, they worked their butts off and they're ready to work some more starting this Wednesday, the 25th? Yeah, it's Wednesday the 25th. We're starting back on the field work. I have a scrimmage in about 9 days. And it's about to get busy. You know, football season, man. You know what I'm saying? It's here now.
That time of year.
It's upon us.
Yeah, so where the kids, especially high school, college, this is where, team starts coming together. This is the best time of year because this is the true. You can really tell from this time of year what kind of season you're gonna have. Because this is the gut check part of the year at that age. When you're that age, that's like, regardless of talent, like you can see what's going to happen if they're going to buy into what you're trying to do. Especially like you said, when you're trying to change a culture. And we're going to get into that in the second half of the show when we go in on Last Chance U. That new season just dropped on Friday. Listen, I'm saying it now. I'm going to say it before we start the fucking season, so we don't get a bunch of shit and comments and DMs. Hey, you fucking ruined it. You ruined it. No,
you ruined it.
So reviewers, if you hadn't seen it, binge watch it like I have. JB just started it, and we're gonna get into it. That's season 4. But first, there was a big one of those old-fashioned mega fights, and it went down. And I gotta be honest, it was a very interesting result, only for the simple fact that you had one competitor that is in boxing and sports in general, age pretty fucking old. And you had another cat that's, probably could have done more with the talents that he does have. Of course, we're talking about Thurman versus Pacquiao. So how that went down to split decision. Senator Pacquiao got the W. He was the WBA regular champion. Now he's a WBA super champion now. I don't know why they kind of do that shit. I think it's I feel like it's just kind of to give somebody a belt, but now he has the quote-unquote real belt. He beat JB's favorite boxing fucking impression, Keith One Time Thurman, and put him on the canvas in the first round. And now it's like he's 41 years old. He has some different options. You have Spence and Porter coming up in September. Of course, we've been talking about this loaded welterweight division. But JB, I'll tell you what. I watched the whole fight live. I also watched. I didn't really watch many of the other undercards other than Caleb Plant getting the win against Mike Lee. Now he's in the mix to fight the winner of Durrell and Benavidez. So he has the IBF belt. So that's my favorite division as well, the middleweight. So I'm definitely excited to see what comes with that. But with Thurman, it's interesting because we kind of saw this, and we've talked about this on the review with a couple of his other fights, where he has been a little chinny, and there's been times where his body has been tested in terms right, chin, fucking taking shots to the body, and a lot of times he was just kind of, after he would throw, he was kind of sitting there. Whereas Pacquiao has a way of like hitting you like a cat. You know what I mean? Like when a cat sits up on his hind legs, does this shit. That's kind of his style, and that's kind of what I noticed. And now you got to take a look at Thurman and say, well, damn, one time you just got beat one time. So now I'm kind of wondering what he has to do to elevate from what you saw from the highlights. What did you see from Pac-Man that you think was good and he can still do it? What did you see from Thurman where he's got to kind of go back to the drawing board and take his game up to the next level?
I think that one time wasn't ready to fight Pacquiao. I don't think he was, because the last fight he fought, he looked very good. He won it, but he looked very good. But for him to fight a fighter, like I said, pipe like I'm Filipino. So for him to fight,
to fight.
So for him to fight a legend, living, walking, breathing legend in boxing, I think it was an outcome I expected. I didn't expect a split decision. So after watching most of the fight, Pacquiao was the busier fighter. He took a couple shots from one time, and one time he was a world-class fighter. Champion, held belts, you know what I'm saying? So he's going to get some shots on the man, but Pac stayed busy. He stayed active. He stayed moving. He used that little cat punch that you talk about, that basically that running right cross, which he does. Yep. He hits you with that running right cross, and then he swings his left hip, and then he catches you with a left hook to the body usually. Or you get that flurry like you talked about, that running flurry where he's running at you and he's punching you like a street fighter.
Right.
One time got all of that. He felt all of that, right? Yeah, he also felt, as you spoke about, power to the body. The one situation where he caught him with a strong left, straight left, boom, straight to the gut. One time started running, caught him against the rope, bop, caught him with another hook to the gut. And I thought one time he was going to fold again. He basically was folded because he was like, couldn't catch his breath, if you will. And it just was what it was. Manny just whooped his ass. I'll just be real. I don't know why it was a split decision, so I guess because a couple of power shots that Thurman landed. And they were just giving him the benefit of the doubt because, again, he is a champion. Nah, I think Manny just tenderized him. And the one time wasn't ready to fight him. Manny is probably going to end up fighting Porter because that's how Manny is. He's just, and that's that's on down the road. You know what I'm saying? Probably middle of next year, but yeah, it just kind of went exactly the way I thought it was. I did not expect, even though I didn't watch the fight initially because I was busy. I did not expect to my phone to chime ESPN updates and see, Keith One Time Thurman defeats Manny Pacquiao. No, I didn't expect to see that. So when I saw the outcome, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. When I saw a split decision, I was like, hold on, what? But when I went back and watched the fight, and I probably watched 6-8 rounds, it just was what it was. It was what it was. Pac was a busier fighter. Your boy One Time just kind of stood still. Not a lot of head movement, not a lot of movement, period. That's why Pac was just able to kind of just take a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting because, number one, I don't think, especially at his age and his capabilities, I think Manny looked good, but he definitely didn't look prime good, and I think he doesn't want. I don't think he wants any smoke with Spence. Porter, even I still wouldn't have him beating Porter. I think his best bet would be to fight probably Danny or Mikey Garcia.
Right.
And unfortunately, I don't think the Crawford fight is ever going to happen for promoter reasons. And it's because it's like Manny is still kind of torn between what he's got to do, because now he's got to go back to the Philippines and fucking bang a gavel and do budget shit for as a senator and all his duties with that. Right. He's probably gonna make a fucking, Lord knows he's gonna do a fucking Celine Dion covers album or some shit. His fucking songbird ass.
Yeah, he does that too.
Right, and then on the flip side, you look at Thurman, and I'm wondering if you agree with this. I'm pretty sure you do. Thurman was undefeated, but let's be honest. We've talked about this since the day we started this podcast. Whenever we talked about boxing, there were some of these fighters that, I'm not going to sit here and say that Thurman was outright propped up, right? I don't think he was necessarily a propped up fighter.
Right.
But whether it was the Luis Collazo fight or some of the recent fights where he got rocked and he's shown signs of if he catches the right one, he can go down, which was proven again by a fighter. Let's be real, by a fighter that shouldn't have put him on the canvas. Manny shouldn't have put him on the canvas, if we're being real about it. No. But Manny's still very capable if you give him an opening, because Keith, like I said, was saying a second ago, after Keith threw his shit, Keith was never feinting him. Keith was trying to throw bombs.
Right. Yeah.
And he was sitting there, and he got schmackled flush, and that's why he went down, because it knocked off his equilibrium. It's like, dude, that's what you get for standing right there in front of the Filipino fucking feline. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So with Keith, do you think he kind of suffered from, even though he's probably one of the best, if not the best, in terms of promoting the fight, at this point, with how he talks, how he can generate interest, I think he does a great job of that shit. But the problem is, when he's actually getting in there, these last few opponents he's had, he made a really big jump. He went from kind of so guys these last couple fights to, like you said, fighting a living, walking legend. So do you think ultimately that hurt him, and he's got to learn from that shit?
Yeah, I think he, like I said when I spoke before, he wasn't ready to fight him, man. He wasn't ready to fight him. That's there's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Even though one time he was a great fighter, and he's proved it, but like you said, there's been some chin taps. You know what I'm saying? That kind of made us question his toughness or his chin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, is he ready for the big dogs? Because the big dogs is throwing big punches. You know what I'm saying? Well, one thing about, you know what I'm saying, old mean Manny, I call him. You know what I'm saying? Mean Manny still got power in that right hook. I mean, in that right cross, if you will. That's still a whole lot of power generating from them calf muscles. You know what I'm saying? Coming through the tip of the
gigantic fucking calf muscles. Pause. That's fucking ridiculous.
This is a whole lot of power generated from them calf muscles coming to the tip of that glove. And he still got the ability to lay you out. He still has that power. And one time needs to like take a year and just condition himself back to real boxing. You know, he got hurt, fought that fight he fought with about less than a year ago. And again, didn't look very good, but just beat the dude because he was just better than him. So he needs to take a year and just get himself conditioned. He needs to spar. He needs to get back in the gym. He needs to get stronger. He needs to do a lot of neck work, because when you start getting your chin tapped, that means your neck weak. You know what I'm saying? Like your neck, you know what I'm saying, is the reason why you can take a punch and, you know, like everybody said, I can eat that. Yeah, you got a big strong neck, you can take that punch. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to, you know, get back in the gym and work on that strength. And get himself conditioned to be able to fight as opposed to just box. You know what I'm saying? Like, he tried to fight Manny Pacquiao last night, and you can't fight Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no. You
got to box Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? The only motherfuckers that beat Manny Pacquiao that have fought him are fighters, Mexican, South American fighters. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And then Floyd, you know what I'm saying, who's a phenomenal boxer, you know what I'm saying, who don't get hit. So it's like, yeah, you're not gonna just stand toe to toe and just box Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the kid in Australia that they said beat him didn't beat him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Manny was tapping that boy. You know what I'm saying? Like a pencil on a desk. It was crazy, and then they just gave him that fucking fight. You know, because the kid got busy like in the last 2 or 3 rounds out there. I still think that's what happened, but.
Right, definitely some home cooking on that Jeff Horn fight too. It's like, you're in Australia, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, man, I feel it. I mean, Thurman's got a lot to learn, especially like you said, from a conditioning standpoint, and just his defense is just very poor.
Yeah.
You know, he's so focused on his offense because, like you said, he built that one-time rep. You know, I got the I'm not afraid to let it go. Which I'm glad he stood by that. I give him credit for that. Like, he wasn't like one of these cats, like, you know, dipping and dodging and being cheeky with it. Like, he's like, no, like, for real, like, I'll fight. And it's like, you know, for him, I'm sure it's a pretty good payday. It's a good way to elevate him. And, you know, like people are going to probably see with like an Anthony Joshua. People, when they feel like you're kind of propped up and you lose, then, you know, people, it's you're either gonna fold from it, or you're gonna embrace the comeback. It's very similar. You know, someone like Joshua has to learn how to add more to his game to not only protect himself, but create more opportunities with his hands. And I think Keith is going to go back and watch this film and be like, damn, man, like, I really left a lot of shit on the table.
Yeah, no counter punching, no moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just he was really just trying to sit there and fight with the man. That's the same kind of thing. Just kind of go talk about Joshua. It's either for him, he needs to lose about 15 pounds. You know, he's still a heavyweight, you know what I'm saying? But he needs to lose about 15 pounds, and he needs to learn how to box. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, like you said, count on that. He always, you know, that's how he finishes people with that one big shot. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like, that's why I think Deontay Wilder has the one up on him, is that Deontay, by fighting Fury, you know what I'm saying, and even before Fury, like, Deontay learned how to box. You know what I'm saying? I was in the process of learning how to box and use his jab and move around and use that power deceptively and use it, you know what I'm saying, more strategically than just trying to throw that big haymaker and knock a cat out in the ring.
Right.
Joshua tried to fight Ruiz, and Ruiz literally scrapped him until he knocked his ass out.
Right. Looking like a damn plumber, fucking scraped him. Shit was awesome.
Hey, I was at the Sandbar. Shout out to Sandbar in Chandler, Arizona. He was there, and I was loving this shit.
Oh yeah, the reviewers remember. They remember our IG story. They saw that shit.
Story. I was loving it because, like, I'm like, yo, this is your king. This is the one y'all talking about gonna whoop the bronze bomber. Nah, not this dude.
You bloke.
He's a coward, bro. And I've been saying that shit. He's a coward, dog. Like, if you want to fight a motherfucker and it ain't have nothing to do with motherfucking promotion and all this shit. All they had to do was, I'm in London, so come over here and fight. And Deontay was like, okay, and then they was like, well, you know what? We gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's just get some formalities. Nah. He's a coward, bro. You're a fucking punk. But then you come to the States to fight the dude you was gonna fight before he backed out the fight, and now you fight Ruiz in the States?
That's what made it worse, because, you know, Big Baby Miller gets popped for the juice, so he's out.
Yeah.
That's his original opponent, who, ironically enough, I think he would have beat Miller regardless. And then he fights and then he loses. It's his U.S. debut, and then he loses to the replacement. Mm-hmm. That's brutal. Mm-hmm. That shit is brutal. That's rough. But, you know, if I'm putting on the promoter hat, it's like, okay, well, it's actually better, because now if they have the rematch clause against him and Ruiz, so if he comes back and he ends up beating Ruiz, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to do a trilogy. But at that point, you know, you have the well, Fury just fought, and then I think they're supposed to have they're talking about the Fury Wilder rematch in the spring, Cinco de Mayo time, because I think Wilder is fighting Luis Ortiz again. That's correct?
Yeah,
I think they got their rematch back, right, which I'm gonna watch. I mean, that was a good fight, but you know, Ortiz might be a little past his time now, but we'll see. You know, because he gave Deontay some problems the first time they fought. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with that. But at the end of the day, I think if they can finally make that shit happen in 2020, and it's got to be like, he lost all, like you said, the cowardly look in his eyes when he got put down 2 or 3 times. You could see it in his face. He had that. It's like when kids lie and they smile. Mm-hmm. Like, he had that look on his face. Like, nah, dude. Like, you don't really want to be here.
Right.
Like, you don't. No. But if you come back, you fight Ruiz, you get your strap back. At that point, I believe you can earn the rematch with Wilder. But fuck that shit being in the UK. That shit is in America. Fuck that. He hasn't earned. That's my thing. When he gets the quote unquote mega fight, it does not deserve to be at Wembley. Even though Wembley is gigantic,
it's a huge venue.
You got to do that shit at like fucking like AT&T Stadium or something like that.
It's got to be Madison Square Garden, AT&T, or fucking just any venue. Just because of size wise, any venue in the United States of America is gonna be bigger, because you're gonna get way more TV. You know what I'm saying? Money. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody gonna be buying it. You know what I'm saying, on pay-per-view. So, hell, he can fight at the fucking T-Mobile Arena, you know what I'm saying, in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He can fight at MGM. You know what I'm saying? He can fight at Madison Square. Madison Square probably where it go down. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it don't matter. It's got to be on U.S. soil. You know You know what I'm saying? Hell, he could fight in Green Bay Stadium, motherfucker. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. That'd be kind of ill. Obviously, time of year pending, of course.
Right.
But it will be kind of dope. Yeah, man. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it was definitely an interesting little crossroads with your man Keith One Time Thurman.
Keith One Time Thurman. I just didn't. I came in the ring and I just didn't fight Pacquiao the way I should have fought him. I tried to hit him with some power shots and it just, But Pacquiao's Pacquiao. He stayed busy and he got the hats off to him. We got to go back to the drawing board. You got to get it together.
I love how our Keith kind of sounds like
Mike Tyson,
Mike Tyson's little brother or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
But that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? He got that soft voice. You know what I'm saying? He got that lisp. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. When you
got that soft voice and that lisp,
when you got that fucking lisp and shit.
Iron Mike,
man.
Didn't he just have a birthday?
Whose birthday?
Didn't Iron Mike just have a birthday?
He might have. I don't know. Let me look that shit up. Mike, was it your birthday? You got to tell us, man. Fucking Mike Tyson. Holy shit. June 30th. Happy belated birthday to Iron Mike Tyson, who's 53 years old. Damn,
Iron
son.
Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Iron Mike, man. Some other things that's going on in the news, Benny. Real quick, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to run to the people, which I think is fucked up. The Dolphins, D-tackle Norton, this kid was just in an accident about a month or so ago. Plays for the Miami Dolphins. He had to get his arm amputated, right?
Damn.
So, the Dolphins, the ESPN headline says the Dolphins waive and will not pay Norton.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
Wow. Wow. That's foul as shit. The least you could have did. The man got in an accident that was no alcohol, no drugs involved. He just got in an accident, right? And the man's livelihood is ruined because one of his arms is gone. You could have gave that man the remainder of his contract, to be like, you know what, bro? Hey, shit happened, but you a Dolphin, we love you, and here's the rest of your money, you know what I'm saying? So you can be in a better situation than you would have without it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, fuck out of here, Dolphins. Next thing that just blowing my mind right now is the rookie, White, the linebacker from LSU. He lost his beloved horse. Yeah.
Wow, he had a horse.
Oh, he has a lot of horses, but the one that he lost was the one that he was riding, when the whole draft, welcome to the NFL rookie thing, you know, the whole draft coverage and all that. He had a horse.
Like Old Town Road shit?
Yeah, he had a horse that he would ride all the time. It was his girl, you know what I'm saying? It was like the equivalent of Old Yeller. Right, so the horse died, man. You know what I'm saying? So getting a review, we just throw some random shit at you, and talk a little shit about it. But when we come back,
Speaking of young people dealing with some shit that might not go their way. We're talking Last Chance U. And the power of coaching and especially molding young minds that are at a very much, again, this theme of this episode seems to be the crossroads of decisions, Mr. Bridges. The crossroads of decisions that can shape your life. And we're going to get your perspective now that you're full-time with them cats out there in Gilbert. Mm-hmm. And, see how your experience has been with kids similar age groups, 17, 18, obviously moving on to the next level, hopefully.
It's very impressionable age, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, very crucial age, for determining what happens. So all that more, again, I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it after the break. Fucking spoiler alerts, all right? So don't get mad, because I already told you, I'm going to tell you 3 times, goddammit.
Don't get mad.
All that shit, plenty more shit to come to you, reviewers, right after this special advertisement announcement. You are listening to the JB and Benny Blue Review podcast, and we'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's up, reviewers? Have you heard about making money in real estate, but you're not sure how to get started? Now you have an opportunity to learn about the housing market while earning commission on new deals. Pacific Home Buyers is a Southern California-based real estate investment group that is seeking experienced and hungry phone salespeople to help them find the best homes on the market for sale. And the best part, there's no real estate experience required. Hours are flexible and you can earn big money on closed deals for just getting home sellers qualified. Call us now at 323-963-3417 for more information on how you can get started. That's 323-963-3417. Pacific Home Buyers. Your home sale starts here. Reviewers, we're back, baby.
Up in here.
Thanks for making us a part of your day. You know, we love it. We appreciate it. We really do.
I really do.
We love to be able to look and see you guys checking on us. I'm literally on our Twitter right now, and I keep seeing, like, every minute, I keep seeing more and more people like JB's tweet when he's at the gym, getting it in. As you know, that's part of his routine and his ritual, and letting people know that a new episode is dropping. And it's like it's just always dope to see the engagement, man. Like people checking for us, you know. That's the best shit in the world.
The love,
baby.
I love to see the love, baby. We love.
We're showing you love, damn it. Giving you some quality content, of course. Going in on some boxing talk here in the first half of the show. Again, follow us at JB and Benny Blue for all your social media needs and shenanigans. By the way, I think I'm gonna start, JB. I think I'm gonna start doing more of those videos on our story of when people are doing ridiculous shit on the Talking Head shows, and I just slow down the speed.
Yes.
Like when I did Jalen Rose doing the Pelican fly and shit. That shit was funny as fuck.
It was amazing.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? It was amazing. I loved it.
Ryan Hollins. I'll put it like this: Ryan Hollins, I got something for your ass. Pause. When you say some dumbass shit, I'm just gonna make it sound chopped and screwed and put it on fucking Instagram story. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like Ryan Hollins. You know what I'm saying? Like all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like the one dude gets on my fucking nerves. I ain't gonna lie. The white dude that be on First Take.
We talking about Max?
No, not Max. You know what I'm saying? Max. Max is triple OG. You know what I'm saying? Like he good to go. He been doing this.
I know. Never mind.
Yeah,
you're talking about Will Kane, aren't you?
Yeah, it's fucking
slick Will Kane. Old Dallas with Will Kane.
He's so fucking annoying, bro. Like,
yeah, dude. I can't stand him either. Will Kane. He just got that vibe where it's like, dude, like you definitely say the N-word in your free time. Like,
easy.
You got that vibe, dude.
Easy call. Yeah, he's definitely that guy. Like,
yeah, because like Max ain't always right, but Max is good money as far as who he is. But like, yeah, Will Kane kills me. Ryan Hollins looks like a fucking mortician. You know what I mean? Like he's annoying as hell too. I tweeted about it. I said, here's a guy. John Madden style. Here's a guy that was barely lucky enough to play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? He's probably had more 10-day contracts than, you know what I'm saying, than motherfuckers from the Rucker. Like, he's a guy who's played in the NBA, kissed enough ass, did an internship with ESPN, kissed enough ass, and now he's on TV as a analyst of sports, not just basketball. They was talking about football this dude the other day. Like, what gives you the fucking right? Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Hell, he can barely talk about basketball. Bizzle, man, I'm gonna do you one better. You know, on a lot of our episodes, especially during football season, I'm always putting some ridiculous audio snippet to start our show. Yep. I'm gonna put the audio, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's happened like a week ago, or maybe even 2 weeks ago, where Max fucking buried him. About did you see that shit?
Yes.
They put up on Twitter. That's gonna be our intro for this episode. Is Max crying, laughing, burying Ryan Hollins.
The thing about it is that Max always kills this dude. Max is always on him. Like, he rides this boy, no homo. He's on him like his fucking suit. He's like Max be rolling this boy. You know what I'm saying? It's funny as shit. So yeah, please put that on the soundbite.
Yeah, that's already on the list. So yeah, man. But fuck all that, man.
Fuck all that.
We watch these shows, you know, because we get inspiration of shit that what not to do and shit to do right. And it's a very fitting theme. Coach Bridges.
The fucked up part about it is, Benny, is that I'm still hearing a lot of things that we say on Sundays. We record our show. On Mondays and Tuesdays.
That magically end up in these topics.
Right. On Mondays and Tuesdays, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing the most recent thing, you know what I'm saying, we talked about is the league turning from the super team to the dynamic duo type shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, ESPN's talking about the same thing the next day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, we know. Mm-hmm. We know you're listening. It's just like, you know what I'm saying, bitches on Instagram with the fake pages, you know what I'm saying, to be looking at the stories trying to see what you're doing. Yeah, we know y'all out there too, and I hope a few of y'all heard that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing about social media, man. Just because they don't like or retweet or comment doesn't mean they ain't watching.
Oh, they looking. Because out the blue, when you post something that they like, all of a sudden they go there like. You're like, whoa, where you come from in these streets?
Yeah, because reviewers,
Up in
I
there.
see reviewers. I see our Twitter, and we get thousands of impressions on our tweets each week, and it's like, dude, like you see, like I'll write something like a popular writer, or like will like a reply or retweet, and it's like we know you see this shit. Like don't try to front, don't try to front ESPN producers,
Right? I would say, yeah.
You know?
Producers and motherfucking idea boys.
Right.
When they had a board meeting,
you know what I'm saying?
They had a board meeting, they had all the idea guys in there. What if we talk about this?
Right.
Great idea. Fuck that.
Speaking of talking about shit,
Let's
that means a
talk
lot.
about shit.
You know, it's a lot of right and wrong. You know, in terms of decisions to be made, particularly with young men who are currently playing football at a high school or college level and may have the opportunity to take it further.
Right.
Of course, we're talking about the new season of Last Chance U that dropped on Friday. Pretty sure a lot of you listening have already spent a lot of your weekend binge watching it. I know I was doing that between my shows this weekend.
Right.
I finished the season. Again, I'm gonna say this for the last fucking time, so we don't get any fucking hate mail. And again, if you want to drop it off, 818-850-2804. Who? Mike Jones? 818-850-2804.
Holla at me, baby. Holla, 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 holla. We're trying to holla at you. We're trying to holla at you.
Let me holla at you. Word to Dave Chappelle. All right, so they're back at ICC, Independence Community College, which is in Independence, Kansas. That is basically in the southeast corner of Kansas, in between like Wichita and Tulsa. All right, right there, as JB said earlier, goddamn Tornado Alley and shit. It's a JUCO program, and again, it's similar to how these last other seasons were, it's like at Eastern Mississippi, where it's basically they've built a program, or essentially, as JB was saying in our patent production meeting, changing the culture to where they were sorry as hell. And then they get this cat, Jason Brown. He had coached and played in Compton, grew up there. He played in the NFL very briefly, played in college, and JUCO coach, and he was there. And it's the second season that they were there. The first year, they had actually won the league title, and they won a bowl game, so they did really well. They come into and again, it's always a season previous. This is the 2018 season, so they come into it ranked pretty high. I think they started in the JUCO rankings.
Fifth in the nation, I think.
Fifth, you're correct. Fifth in the nation. And look, spoiler alert, we'll just call it what it is. They won their first game, and then they fucked off like 7 or 8 games in a row, and then they end up finishing 2-8, if I'm not mistaken, if that was their final record. And basically, yeah, it was just a sorry season, a lot of drama. Him cutting coaches, firing coaches, cutting players, and all that shit. A whole lot of drama. And then at the end of it, he's basically asked to resign because they had a German exchange student that came over. He said some fucked up shit about, being his Hitler and all this shit. And, he communicates with a lot of his players via text. Coach Brown has been accused, again, allegedly, he's been accused of accusations, you know what I'm saying, of blackmail and identity theft. Apparently he was posing, this is again allegedly, he's posing as an attorney from the world famous Johnny Cochran law firm, sending cease and desist emails to the Montgomery County Chronicle, which is the county where Independence is, over an editorial over that covered the fight that you'll see in the season if you haven't seen already, where the fight between Independence and Garden City. There was a rivalry there because Coach Brown used to coach at Garden City, and then he left. And we know there's a lot of shit talking that there tends to be with rivalries, and then Garden City ends up winning the game. Similar to previous seasons, again, the school like that and Garden City and a lot of similar programs, it's made up of kids who have Division I talent, but Division fucking 4 -12 focus.
NAIA, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, and the fucking NAIA focus and shit, where they got to damn near wash their own uniforms. And it's a lot of kids that either fucked off their grades, they got in trouble off the field, or some of them are injury, shit like that. And it's very fascinating to see their stories, obviously. But what we want to go in deeper than just like talking about the shit, because really a lot of storylines are the same. Some kids make it, some kids don't.
Right.
As far as JB, you really going back really full throw into coaching, which is what you've wanted to do for some time. Now you're very active with the Gilbert program now at this point. What did you see in terms of? I really want to get your perspective in terms of like, working with other coaches when you're a position coach and the hierarchy of coaches at that level, and how cats communicate, and how you're really able to build a program where you're on the same page. Because as you'll see, as you continue to watch it, as the season goes on, the losing really kind of reveals their character, and they're really kind of shitty with each other, and kind of chatting behind people's backs and shit like that. How do you take it as far as like being a position coach, but also being able to work with the head coach and the coordinators and things like that?
Well, one of the reasons why I coach for the man that I coach for, because he's a really good dude. He's not egotistical. He's about winning. He's about developing young men and making them better young men, which in the big long run, the big huge picture, that's what it should be. When you have a dictator, he said it right on the show, he is a Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a dictator. He's not in a leadership role where he's like, you know what? I'm trying to hear this. I'm trying to hear that to make this whole situation better. It's like, it's my way or the fucking highway. All right? It's motherfucking Stalin. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his MO. That's what he wants to be. That's who he wants to be. He wants to be the head motherfucker in charge with no other words or no other suggestions or anything from assistant coaches that's going to help him do his job better. So that's hard. That guy, I watched him last year, and I remember saying I could never coach for this dude, because as brilliant as a mind as he is offensively, he's just a fucking idiot who tries to be super hard all the time because he's from Compton, California. So I know a lot of cats from Compton, California who are not, they're hard. They're going to hold up for theirs. They're not stupid. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what he is to me. He's extremely stupid, just a fucking airhead. And he, the whole losing your temper to the point where you can't even think thing. That's what fucking kids do. You know what I'm saying? That's what kids do. Blacking out, everybody. Blacking out, they call it. He blacks out all the time. That's what little kids do. You know what I'm saying? That's what quote unquote teenagers do. Oh, I blacked out, not just acting a fool. Okay, well, that, you don't get no repercussions at that point. Not really seriously. But a grown ass man, you know what I'm saying, who's well into his 40s, like, you get to the point where you say things and do things, you know what I'm saying, to people, and say things to people that are just detrimental to your job. Like, how dumb are you? And like with kids, you have to be, because kids are so fucking sensitive nowadays. Like I hate to use the word bitches, but that's what they are. A lot of them are like, like super tough motherfuckers, sensitive thugs. They all need hugs. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay-Z. Because that line, that quote comes to mind all day, every day when I think about all these kids. You know what I'm saying? I work with my kids all day, every day, but it's just different. It's more so when I was at Crenshaw than at Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of fake tough guys at Gilbert because these kids, they're tough kids. You know what I'm saying? But they don't have to grow up in an environment to where they're tough all the time. They ain't got to be banging on breakfast in Gilbert. You know what I'm saying?
And let's keep it a buck. It is a different environment where it is a different thing. When we've talked about this on the podcast and off. Right. You can tell kids that have been almost exclusively raised by women, as opposed to having some sort of male figure in their life, even if it isn't always their direct father. Right. You can tell. Without a doubt. It's usually those kids who have, like you said, the sensitive thug mentality. Right, it's usually those kids.
Exactly. So it's a super fine line, and when it comes to coaching and trying to maintain that toughness and that tough love, as we call it, and coaching kids hard, and it's difficult because you don't know the kids that are going to fold up or the ones that are going to accept it, or the ones that are just going to flat out rebel because you raised your voice at them. You know what I'm saying? So, with the Last Chance U thing, a lot of these children have to understand that nothing's going to be given to them. And there's a huge sense of entitlement to all these kids. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to blame it on fucking under the radar. And I'm going to blame it on all of these little sites that are making money off these children. You know what I'm saying? That are making big money off these children.
Yeah, ad revenue.
Right. They constantly fucking post their videos on their sites and all this other shit, the opening and, you know what I'm saying, the fucking Under the Radar, which are the two biggest ones. And it's like, bro, like you making these kids celebrities and superstars to the point where they feel like, you know, things should be given to them and like they don't feel like they have to work. But that's what you see when you look at a Last Chance You. You look at a bunch of kids that have been babied and spoon-fed their whole life because they were the star of whatever football team they were on. And you get that. And then they don't want to be coached hard, but then you got an idiot for a coach who you know, even though like I do believe he really, you know, genuinely cares about those kids, but communication a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
His approach is not great.
If you don't know how to properly communicate with the kid that you're talking to, then that's gonna be a problem. Like I know all of my children on my team, and I know who I can fuck with, and I know who I can't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that like I can joke with this kid about certain things, but I can't joke with him about certain other things. Nothing inappropriate, but like even just his what he just did on the football field. You know what I'm saying? I can joke with certain kids about, oh, you fucked that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then you say that to another one, and they're like, oh, you know, they fold up and go into a tent. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've only been around my kids for shit. You know what I'm saying? A matter of months. But same thing at Crenshaw, you know what I'm saying? And the same thing watching other coaches, you have to know how to deal, you know, we say know your personnel. And this dude didn't know his personnel, you know, or he didn't care to know him, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just his way of the fucking highway. So if the kid fucked up, if the kid crossed him, you know what I'm saying, he cussed the kid to hell and, you know what I'm saying, and that would be that, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't really be no apologies, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, basically you telling the kid, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck you, you know, fuck you. That's pretty much all he should have been saying to these kids because, you know, he's that type of cat. And that's sad. That's sad. I know some really tough coaches now. But they're very loving men, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to making sure these kids do what they're supposed to do outside of their respective sport.
Oh yeah, listen, there's a fine line between tough and disrespect, and I think in many cases he's definitely crossed that, not only with his players and with his coaches as well. And you really see that dynamic, especially in the season, because he even says it at the end of the last episode where he's kind of going over his time there, the 3 years that he had there. He's like, you know, I wanted to win a national title, but at the end of the day, we won the league title, we won the first bowl game in how many years, and I sent over 100 kids to Division I, and I think I think some coaches, and you see it not only in football but in basketball and other sports, where some coaches are truly really good coaches and some coaches are really good recruiters, and I think he's a really good recruiter. He knows how to get a lot of those kids to his program, and you know, I think the thing about it is that it really shows that kind of dynamic in terms of where these guys are at with where they're all, you know, it's so interesting, bro, at this JUCO level, because if you think about it, and they admit this on the show, that they're all, that being at Independence Community College is all a stepping stone for them, right? The coaches want to move on to D1, and the players want to move on to D1. Right. So when you see that from someone who has played at a high level and is coaching at a high level and will continue to get to a high level as to where you got as a player, how do you view that? Where it's like, damn, like we're like, you know, you're trying to build a culture like you talk about in a team, but it's like, fuck, everybody's looking at this as like, ain't no way in hell I'm trying to come back here for another year. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, but that's understood, man. Like where you're at, that's what's understood. That should be an unwritten law,
right,
of where you are. And as a coach, as a head coach, yeah, you want your guys to stay, you know, familiar with, you know, when it comes to your coaching staff. You want guys that you know and that you trust. But you know, you're gonna have to understand that if you got a contract to be at a school at a JUCO for 5 years, and you probably gonna end up having the coaching change like at least once every year. At least 2 coaches a year are gonna move on. They're gonna go do something, go get a better job, or, you know what I'm saying, like so on and so forth. So you can't get mad about that. These kids nowadays can just go and do what they want to do when it comes to like leaving schools and going to this school and going to that school. And these kids are there. He knows that though. He'll say it like, the reason why you're here is to get your ass graduated and get out of here. Like, so and that's one thing I don't understand about JUCO, right? College coaches don't give a damn how successful your JUCO is. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will be naive or just flat out stupid to say that, okay, the better the JUCO, the better talent you're going to have. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, they're going to go pecking around, you know what I'm saying, the Independence in Kansas, you know what I'm saying, the Southeast in Mississippi, you know what I'm saying, a couple of JUCOs, you know what I'm saying, in California that they have, you know what I'm saying, that are highly touted. Like, of course, they're going to go snooping around those first because they're successful. You know what I'm saying? But as a JUCO coach, you have to understand that this is the territory that you're dealing with. So when you sign that contract or whatever, however many year contract, and he got a big one, you know, they paid him to come over there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They paid him to come over there and quote unquote change that school. So yeah, you gotta understand that this is how it's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna have guys leave me on my coaching staff. I'm gonna have guys that are stupid and ain't gonna do right, that are gonna get kicked off the team. I got guys that are, you know what I'm saying, that ain't gonna do right and that are gonna fuck up my games. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm not saying that you gotta conform to that shit, but I'm not finna lose my job, you know what I'm saying, over some kid that don't want to do right. You know what I'm gonna do? It's another kid that really wants to get to Division I. Okay, this kid gonna play. All right? Yep. If you don't want to play, and if you don't like the rules, you don't want to play, get the fuck on. Mm-hmm. You know, get your ass the fuck on. There's a million JUCOs you can go to between LA and Kansas. You know what I'm saying? And Texas, and Mississippi. Yeah, you can find somebody to go play JUCO if you want to, but you're not going to play here because, you know, I can't deal with your stupidity. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, it's all for the glitz and glamour of Last Chance U, and, of course, all the kids wanted to go there because of Last Chance U. Mm-hmm. And it's just sad and super unfortunate that man had to be the man to have certain success at that school, because it could have happened to a way better dude. You know what I'm saying? Right. It could have happened to a way better man, you know what I'm saying, that still could be there making a name for himself. Like, I mean, the coach in Mississippi, East Mississippi, he's a douchebag, but he's a little less of a douchebag than the one over here, than the Brown cat. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Brown cat is like, he's just a crook coaching. That's all he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking wannabe thug, or can't let his little thug days go from Compton. And he's just a fucking crook that coaches. Mm-hmm. The cat in East Mississippi, he's a very passionate coach. You can tell by the way that they talk when they're alone and the things that they say. He just has a fucking temper. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. Yeah, he wasn't going over the line with doing some wild shit about the shit with the fucking trying to fake like he's an attorney to get a story taken down about a fight that actually happened. Right. And like basically saying some wild shit. Like you said, like I was saying a second ago, like there's a fine line between that tough love and disrespect. And if you start saying some like wild out of pocket shit, like a German kid, like I'm gonna be your new Hitler, like dude, you don't say like you don't say shit, that you don't say that to German people, dude. No. That's to them it's not quite the equivalent, but that would be like him looking at a black player and calling him the N-word. Like to them, that's what you can't say shit like that to German people. They're like, are you serious? Right. Yeah. So like when you cross the line, like you said, that's the difference between having a temper and being a crook. You know, that's a real thing. Yeah, just being a blatant asshole. Right, that's exactly. A blatant fucking asshole is a good way to put it. And then finally, bro, from a player's perspective, and obviously with your career, again, Southern Miss to the top. And then, of course, you were fortunate enough to able to make it to the next level and have a good career. And obviously, the reviewers who've been rocking with us understand that. And if not, do your research. Right. So you didn't necessarily have to go through. Every college kid has their shit. We understand that, but you never were in a position where you're like, damn, I fucked off this opportunity. Now I'm at East Mississippi Community College. So from their perspective, if you had to give advice to someone who has been a student athlete and obviously played the next level and is a coach now, to those kids that maybe if they're listening, it can finally get through their head that they need to do right. What are just like 2 or 3 things that are practical things that they can take with them to really make sure they can go on to the next place they want to be? I mean, as a coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I coach at JUCO, I would just constantly remind players of what could be. You know what I'm saying? Or what could not be. I would constantly remind players where they're from. I would constantly remind players of their past. I would constantly remind players of the bad that they've done. Not to harp on it, but just to remind them, like, look, man, where you at right now is the result of you not doing this or you doing this. So, and if you start fucking around while you're here and I'm seeing the same shit that got you here, then that's telling me that you either are dumb and can't learn, or hard-headed and refuse to learn. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's a difference, you know, and somebody who refuses to learn is stupid, right? That's the definition of stupid to me. A person that refuses to learn from their mistakes or learn things that are coming to them new is stupid, all right? I would constantly remind them not to be stupid, and I would constantly remind them how special they are. Like you special, like you got this talent, this special talent that most people don't have. And as much as we see high school football being thrown in our face right now, it's still a very small percentage of those kids that are elite athletes, that are really going to get a chance to go to Division I schools and that have that talent. And I would constantly remind them how special they are. Now, are you going to get through to every one of them? No. But, you know, you go try to save all of them, you know what I'm saying? But you won't be able to save all of them. So those are just two things I do. I constantly remind them of what they did to get where they are, especially if they continue to do the same thing. And I would just constantly remind them how special they are and how privileged they are to be able to get a chance to try it again and to a chance to learn from their mistakes and put it behind them, put it on their back burner and make them understand that's not who you are. Or if that's who you were, it ain't who you gotta continue to be. Like a lot of kids that I coach in LA, a lot of kids that, you know, they have to be a certain way in the hood, or they're gonna get beat up, picked on, shot, killed, you know what I'm saying, whatever. So they have to be, and I hate to say it, but it's kind of like on Menace Society, you know what I'm saying? Like Kane said about the little kid Anthony, like you gotta be hard going up out here. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what it is. The inner city kids have to act a certain way at all times, but it ain't gotta define you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can hold up for yourself and be a man and protect yourself and all that shit, but you ain't gotta, you know, it ain't gotta, that can't define who you are.
Exactly. Like if you can't have that mentality when you're in an environment where some of that shield, if you will, isn't needed. Like you see, like you said, the difference between not being able to comprehend it and the difference between just not doing it. Like right. you see every season of this show, you see the kids that are in the classroom and they still got their little shield up and they're just not doing the work necessary just to be able to get the grades to actually and they're literally on the phone lying to recruiters saying, oh yeah, my grades are straight, and they got 3 Fs.
Exactly.
And it's like, yo, you're lying to recruiters, man. You're gonna fuck off that opportunity. Even if it is Illinois State or Arkansas State or whatever.
It's an opportunity to play college play the sports you love at the next level. All right. So don't take that for granted. And it's just like you said about the whole grade situation, like you can't have one without the other. But then you're looking at schools that pass these kids because they're a star athlete and so on and so forth. And it's fucked up, it's bad rap because people think that that's how I got through and how, you know, no. You know what I'm saying? I might not have been the motherfucking most scholastic son of a bitch in the world, but when it came to handling the business that I need to handle, you know what I'm saying, for school, we did that. Graduated high school above a 3, you know what I'm saying, and then graduated college above a 3. But, you know, was I a dumbass at one point?
And the key word, graduate. Right. You graduated.
Right. Was I a dumbass at one point? Yeah, my first semester I had a 1.8. You know what I'm saying? Because I was fucking wilding, you know what I'm saying? But that was time management, right? And like I was refusing to go to class and all that shit, it was just that I wasn't managing my time very well because I didn't know how to do it. Well, I lived and I learned, right? Mm-hmm. That's not stupidity. That's just a normal human being that learns from his mistakes. And unlike some guys that I know that was stupid that I went to college with, and most of them, it's funny because most of them were JUCO transfers that came over with whatever, for whatever reason, thinking that they woo, and I don't know. You know, I just don't get it. It's just a mentality, and I think about a lot of cats that I played with in Southern Miss that were JUCO transfers were just fucking idiots. Like, wanted to do things their way, and you know, those were the guys that were coming through smoking weed and drinking like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all drank in college, but you know what I'm saying? Like, weed is something I never really messed with in college. You know what I'm saying? It was just a drink, baby. You know what I'm saying? We got down with the drinking. It's college shit. Mm-hmm. So the JUCO cats are the ones that came through wanting to smoke all the time, and you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. And you know what I'm saying? I understand they really shit to do with a JUCO, but goddamn, like, You know what I'm saying? Like you what are you trying to accomplish here? This is the question I have for these young men. What exactly are you trying to accomplish? Are you there just because you want to keep playing football and this is the only way you can? Or are you looking past today and saying, okay, I'm here because of this reason, so I'm gonna grind it out and I'm gonna do what's required so that I can get where I want to be. Right? What's your purpose? What's your plan? Why are you there? And a lot of those kids on Last Chance U weren't getting asked that. They were just they were just getting motherfucked, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that their grades were a certain way and so on and so forth. Like, right. I guess that would be the third thing I would do with kids, like constantly ask them, like, why the fuck are you here? Like, why are you here? If you want to be an asshole and go smoke weed and talk back, you know what I'm saying, and talk about how coaches ain't doing you right and all that shit, man, you go to the real world. You can do that to your homeboys complaining about your manager. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, right. You can do that shit in the real world, like, because right now you're not in the real world. You are in the football world. You are in the student-athlete world, which is a great fucking world to be in.
Right.
It is a phenomenal world to be in. You know, a lot of kids would give their fucking left nut, you know what I'm saying, boys, you know what I'm saying, to be in that football or that scholastic athlete world. Like, please. And so I would constantly ask them, like, what is your goal? What is your purpose for being here? Are you here to motherfucking make JUCO a lifelong thing, or are you here using this as a stepping stone, knowing that you had to be here because of things that you did in your past, and use this for what it's for and get the fuck on? Like, you done already wasted 2 years of your life, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done already wasted 2 years of your life because you didn't do what you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it. Now you fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, here go the years, and now you fucking up.
Right.
You're doing the same shit you did to get here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Listen, young reviewers, heed these words, because these can save you a lot of grief on the back end, especially if you're trying to play Division I and possibly beyond, if you truly do have that talent. But, you know, do what you, as the old saying goes, do what you need to do so you can do what you want to do.
Man, and, please,
you know?
Hey, young people, understand this. You know what I'm saying? What a man does is what he has to do until he does what he wants to do. All right? That's what a man does. You know what I'm saying? That's what any human being should do.
Yep. Straight
up, you should do what you have to do until you're able, till you're blessed to be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, don't be dumb, man. Like, you got some sacrifice is the word. All right, that's the key word that these young people have to understand. Sacrificing. I talk to kids on my team that I hear about that are drinking and smoking and shit. Like, yo, you got the rest of your fucking life to do that if you want to. Straight up, you got the rest of your life to do that if you want to. But right now, you have a skill. And you're blessed physically to be able to do this. So do it. You love it. Don't act like you don't love it, because you come to practice every day, you sweating and dying and workouts, and you know what I'm saying? Like, don't act like you don't love it, because you're here because you love it. So show me the other side of love. You know what I'm saying? Show me that discipline side of love. You can love a motherfucker and cheat on the bitch constantly. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's basically what you do in the football, you know what I'm saying? When you give it all you got on the football field, and once you leave the football field, then you over there fucking around in class, and you ain't going to class, and you doing dumb shit like stealing and shit. Like, that's basically what you're doing. Telling the bitch you love her, and as soon as you get away from her, you motherfucking fucking Sally, C, and Jane. Right. So don't be.
Come on, baby, please, baby.
Don't be. You know, don't be a man of infidel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Be faithful to that bitch. Football will take care of you. She's a faithful. Football is a bitch that will love you and take care of you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Just like any sport that people respect, the sport that people play. If you love that bitch and you treat her right, that bitch end up loving you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, exactly. But if you don't love her, like Brian McKnight said, if you don't want her, don't waste your time. All right?
Brian McKnight reference. Holy shit.
Oh, good song.
That motherfucker. Yeah, you're right.
If you don't want to, don't waste your time. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, baby.
Young reviewers, heed these words. That's it for this episode. Again, reviewers, we love you. JB, normally I ask you if you have anything else for the people out there. I actually have a specific question I would like to ask you. I know you believe in the and the aliens and everything.
Yeah, buddy.
There's been a lot of chatter about this Area 51 shit, so I want to know, if Dr. Jeremy Eugene Bridges III Esquire was at the gates of Area 51 and you met a real life alien, green spaceship, the whole shit, hell, they might have 3 titties. I don't know what the fuck they look like. Nonetheless, if you met an alien, what is the one question that you would ask an extraterrestrial, an alien from outer space?
How many of you motherfuckers is out there? That's
Simple
what I
yet
want to
effective
know.
question.
That's what I want to know. How many of you motherfuckers out there? Because if I'm talking to one alien, he know where all the aliens at. You know what I'm saying? You know that. You know they know where other galaxies is at. If they travel to our galaxy, the Milky Way, you know what I'm saying, to do what they do and they end up getting fucking popped, they know where other aliens is at. That's what I want to know. How many of you motherfuckers out there? Is there another world comparable to the one you're in? Is it like this? Is, the cities and all this other shit? Like, what's going on out there? That's basically what, in a generality, you know what I'm saying? What's really happening out there, you know what I'm saying, in space, in a galaxy far, far away? What's really popping out there? What about you, Ben? What would you ask old ET in these streets?
How's that drink out there? That's what I asked. You know what I'm saying? They got that motherfucker, that glow in the dark shit.
Yeah, that Total Recall.
That ooh-wee, if you will.
Right, that Total Recall, you know what I'm saying?
Total Recall!
That Total Recall. You fucking give you the drink smoking and shit.
Motherfucker, I got this drink called Total Recall, goddammit. What the fuck is that? You'll find out, motherfucker.
That fucker will be a strand of weed before you know it.
I know, right? Total Recall. Your face starts to melt and shit. Oh my god.
Quaid.
Oh, Quaid. Oh my god.
Quaid, nigga.
I fucking folded in half when you said that shit. Total Recall. God damn.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Reviewers, that's it. We love you. JB and Benny Blue Review Podcast. Follow us at JB and Benny Blue. JB and BennyBlueReview.com. We're available on all streaming platforms, and that's it. Until next week, we love you. Be safe. Make good choices, people. That's the theme of this episode. Make good choices.
Make great decisions in life. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to be different. Young men, don't be afraid to be the man. All right? There's a lot of responsibility coming being a man. Don't be afraid to be the man. With that being said, we'll holler at y'all on the next go round.
Yes, indeed. We out.
Peace.